How's it going, everybody? My name is Carson Reed with CinemaMotions, and I'm going to be doing a quick breakdown of the script and some of the color grading stuff that we've done in here. There is a lot, so bear with me here, but we'll first start off in Nuke. The scene in Blender was extremely simple. It was a character, an HDRI, and then Anticode's Strand generator. So I used Rococo motion capture. I rendered out parts of this using Octaspace, which is a fantastic rendering tool for Blender, and then other parts I used my machine itself because it does not yet support geometry nodes, which the Strand generator is. So this is our ambient occlusion pass. I rendered out several passes so that way I could rebuild the entire beauty and be able to grade it and adjust it how I wanted. So you can see there's a few color correct nodes and grade nodes in here. I also have a little bit of a bump to the glossy indirect just to give it a little bit more pop, especially on these green sections right here. I rendered out the actual HDRI environment in the background on its own, just like so. And I am working on some of these alpha issues because I did notice them a little bit later down the line. There's like this very subtle black outline that Twitter compression kind of carried and hid, but I noticed it. So I'm going to be working on a fix for that. After rebuilding the beauty pass, I just went in, color corrected a few pieces. So this is our base color diffuse setup here, and that's all of those passes. And then this is the glossy setup, and then you just add them on top of each other, and boom, bada bing. I also rendered out the just a full comped together version, so that way I could extract its alpha channel, and I shuffled that in because once again, Blender has a very strange deal with alphas. So over here I have my mesh pass, and I have a few different effects for it. I rotoed out the eye and the shoulder piece to just isolate the strand materials, and then I used a silk tool from the Nuke survival kit, just go into draw and then silk MHD. Now, I don't know what it does, and I'm not going to pretend I know what it does. However, it gives you this really, really neat looking effect. So I plugged that into a Sapphire Distort node, and that gave me these little warbly bits here. And then I added the emission back over top. So now we've got the warbly bits and the strand parts stacked together. Then I have a glow, just a very, very subtle one though. And then pushing on down, I'd disabled all my post-processing because I wanted to do it inside of Davinci, but this was the final export. Nothing too crazy. I do have an AGX view transform, and if I set it to standard, it just kind of blows the saturation out of the water because these are values that go above 1. Tossing this into Davinci, I rendered out a scene linear AXR, so I was able to just very quickly use Rexona 9 linear, and I'm using the RE gamut transforms just because I find them a little bit more friendly for me since I'm familiar with it. This first node here is an exposure controller, so after this is the color space transform. Then I have a few grades here which just boost up the color and make it a little bit more vibrant. One thing that I really wanted to make sure didn't happen was people who were viewing it on their phones or on their monitors, the colors weren't going to be overly saturated. So here on my waveform, you can see I have a few peaking things here. There's a bunch of toolkits that you can enable and set up, but I've just got it like that. I also isolated the green channel on its own and just did a very, very subtle color boost in the negative. So that way it made it feel more like what's it called? Not brighter, but a little bit, more desaturated to fit in line with strands. So it was more yellow in our ranges. And then after that, there's just this random node that I had as a buffer, but I go from RE wide gamut, and then I'm actually using a LUT from Gleb Alexandrov's entire freemium Davinci training course, and this looks really, really good. Let's see. This is super dense X200. So again, since I'm using the RE-Log C4 profiles while I'm working on this, it was super easy to just drag and drop this on, and I can change these to any of these other ones. If I wanted to go to AGX, then I could do that. And One of the great things about these LUTs is that they are unclipped, so they're full float 32-bit 3D LUT files that just perfectly work. For the final export, I actually didn't use Dehancer, but I could have, and that would have just given me a little bit more of a film emulation, and that was pretty much it. It's a super simple project. It only took me about 4 or 5 hours, and I'm sorry about not posting a breakdown sooner. My power supply exploded on me, so I got a new case, new power supply. Everything is back in working order. So thank you all for watching, and hopefully I'll have a few more projects before the end of this week. Peace!